In this video, we will discuss the forms and translations of the future active participle. We will also review some of the fundamental ideas about participles. Our first example describes a scene from Augustus Arapakis, the Altar of Peace. Kygnos discasuros feminam vehet. Kygnos is the nominative subject of the sentence, and vehet is the main verb. Feminam is the direct object of vehet, and discasuros is a participle that describes kygnos. The swan, discasuros, about to leave, carries the woman. Discasuros is a masculine nominative singular participle that describes kygnos, which is also masculine nominative and singular. So we have the swan, about to leave, carries the woman. And the second example shows the early Roman hero Cincinnatus, a retired general who was called away from his farm to lead the army once more. Senatores cincinnatum laboraturum vident. Senatores is the nominative plural subject, and vident is the main verb of the sentence. Cincinnatum is an accusative direct object of vident, and laboraturum is a participle that is masculine, accusative, and singular, and describes cincinnatum, who is also masculine, accusative, and singular. So we have the senators see Cincinnatus about to work. Or perhaps, if we are a bit more flexible, we can say the senators see Cincinnatus as he was setting out to work. Now, as we prepare to explore the future active participle in specific, we should first review the general nature of participles. A participle is an adjective that is formed from the stem of a verb. And because a participle is an adjective, it agrees with the noun it modifies in those three key ways: case, number, and gender. In the last section of this video, we will fully decline a future active participle and look at all its forms. While participles are adjectives in function, it is important to note that they do retain some verbal elements, especially as they indicate tense and voice. The tense of the participle will always be relative to the time of the action of the main verb in the sentence. Participles can also sometimes govern participial phrases, which may include direct objects, adverbs, prepositional phrases, etc. One of our examples just now was kygnos discasuros feminam vehet. The participle was discasuros, which describes kygnos, because it agrees with kygnos in case, number, and gender. Both words are masculine, nominative, and singular. Now, before we go on to forming future active participles, I want to draw your attention to this UR before the ending of the participle. These two letters will be key for us in forming the future active participle. So, let's talk about forming the future active participle. We have two example verbs, amo, amare, and mito, mitere. We're going to need to start with the fourth principal part. We will take the stem from these and add the endings urus, ura, urum to create a first and second declension adjective. So, from amatum, we create amaturus, amatura, amaturum. From misum, we create misurus, misura, misurum. Just remember that these us, a, future active participles will decline as first and second declension adjectives. So let's consolidate all the information about future active participles. Remember that participles have tense, which shows a time that is relative to the time of the action of the main verb. So the future participle denotes an action that takes place later than the action of the main verb. Participles also have voice, active or passive. Since the future participle is an active participle, the noun it modifies does the action. Now, to form a future active participle, we take the fourth principal part and use the endings urus, ura, urum to make a first and second declension adjective. To translate the future active participle, we can use the standard formula about to blank. So here are two examples that we've seen so far. Amaturus, amatura, amaturum, and misurus, misura, misurum. This is about to love and about to send, using that about to blank formula. Also recognize the urus, ura, urum endings. Let's now translate a brief example from Latin literature. This line comes from Ovid's Metamorphoses. Ovid is telling a story about how Apollo killed his lover Coronis in a fit of jealous rage. And as Apollo is about to light Coronis's funeral pyre, Ovid tells us, "Videt et arsuros supremis ignibus artus." And he saw, that's videt et, limbs about to burn, the arsuros artus. Arsuros is a future active participle that is describing the accusative plural artus. Those are Coronis's limbs about to burn, supremis ignibus, in the final fires. Apollo hasn't yet lit the fire, so the limbs have not yet burned when he looked upon them. And as we see in this example, arsuros is accusative plural masculine, as it describes the accusative plural masculine artus. Let's now use this future active participle, about to burn, and decline it in all cases, numbers, and genders in Latin. We know that we will take the fourth principal part, arsum, from ardeō, ardere, arsi, arsum, and use the endings urus, ura, urum to create arsurus, arsura, arsurum. And from here, we decline this as a first and second declension adjective. So the masculines will be arsurus, arsuri, arsuro, arsurum, arsuro. The feminines will be arsura, arsurai, arsurai, arsuram, arsura. And the neuters will be arsurum, arsuri, arsuro, arsurum, arsuro. And we can decline the plurals as well. The masculine will be arsuri, arsurorum, arsuris, arsuros, arsuris. The feminines will be arsurai, arsurarum, arsuris, arsuras, arsuris. And the neuters, arsura, arsurorum, arsuris, arsura, arsuris.